Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Jdog for Jdog's DVD Dungeon. Gonna be bringing you something a little special this time. Jdog here in the dungeon. He's doing a little movie marathon in association with SquidFlix.com, which they're a small independent film company, and they do movie reviews and movie marathons and a lot of fun stuff like that. But I'm also teaming up with a fellow Canadian, a fellow YouTuber, a buddy of mine, Nick Lert at Nick Lert's Movie Barn. And we're going to be going over the Psycho films, like for the Squidflix Psycho Mother's Day movie marathon. So, hey, what better way to say Happy Mother's Day than the little matricide? Hey, we're going to be looking at the Psycho films, parts 1 through 4, leaving out the shitty remake. I'm going to touch a little bit on Bates Motel, because I don't know, I feel it adds a little bit to the backstory with some of the things you learn in that movie, but also at the same time it's pretty hokey and pretty shitty, just a made-for-TV series. So, but yeah, first one I'm going to be talking about, this is the Alfred Hitchcock classic. This is the original black and white Psycho. The release I have here, this is the Universal 2-disc. This just came out a little while ago. A really slick release, really nice packaging. Like, you got the Bates Motel side, you got the classic old house, classic scene from the movie. See on the back there, you got 2 discs, you got some special features, you got a shot of Janet Leigh on the back, you got a little Anthony Perkins there. Like it says, Alfred Hitchcock's most shocking film. Okay. I really enjoy this film. Haven't seen it for a lot of years, but I remember it from a child and stuff. So, yeah, it's good times. That's a good movie to watch on Mother's Day. Entertaining stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna get on with the review. Get talking about the story a little bit. Like, to me, this movie kind of plays out in 2 parts. That's the way I look at it, anyway. Like, you got the first half, which deals with Marion Crane, and then you got the second half, which deals with Norman Bates. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the first part of the movie. Like Psycho, the opening scene, you have, well, I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about, some more about the movie, a little bit more on the background. Like I said before, it's directed by Alfred Hitchcock. This is, well, it's based on a novel by Robert Bloch, and Robert Bloch, he based the novel off of, Plainsfield, Wisconsin's favorite son, Eddie Gein, serial killer. He was guilty of matricide, kind of the same thing, like dug his mother out of the graveyard, dressed up in women's clothing and stuff. So it was loosely based on the whole Ed Gein story. But anyway, it's a novel from Robert Bloch. Joseph Stefano did the screenplay for it. You got this movie, it's starring a young Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates. And you got Janet Leigh, she's playing the character of Marion Crane. And you got John Gavin, he plays the character of Sam Loomis. So now we'll get into the story on the movie. But this starts out like the opening scene, you got Janet Leigh playing the character of Marion Crane. Like, she's a Phoenix office worker, she's down on her luck, single girl, like, and she's seeing this guy, like Sam Loomis. They're meeting on her lunch breaks and stuff like that. But yeah, kind of a sad story. They can't get married because they got no money. Sam, he's paying alimony payments to his ex-wife and stuff, and he doesn't live in town anyway. He's somewhere in California, so they're just meeting from time to time. Not a whole lot of prospect going there. Yeah, so until one day, it's a Friday afternoon, you get Marion, she goes into work. You get this fancy dressed, kind of Texas-style businessman. He comes in, and he's running his mouth. He's like, yeah, I'm going to buy this house for my daughter, and he pops down 40 grand cash. Bang. And Marion's boss is like, holy fuck, like, we can't have that kind of cash kicking around the office. So he tells her, yeah, you better take that down, deposit it in the bank and whatnot. So she's like, yeah, sure. But you could tell when that money come down, like, she's seen it, and she's like, you could see, like, the gears starting to grind in her head, like, like, I could make off with this bread, start a nice life. So yeah, she takes the rest of the afternoon off, like, saying she has a headache. She's going to deposit the money. So she goes home. First thing she does is packs up her suitcase real quick. She's sitting there, she's looking at the money, debating what to do. She decides, the hell with this, I'm going to split town. I'm out of here, I'm going to go find Sam. We're going to start a life together, live happily ever after. So she's taken off on her way out of town, though. She stopped at a red light, and lo and behold, who happens to cross in front of him? Well, her boss with a businessman, like the client there that he's out entertaining. He kind of does a double take. He's like, well, what the hell? I thought she's supposed to be at home, but doesn't think much of it. She takes off. Yeah. And then you have her. She's taken off out of town now. She happens, gets a little tired. She pulls over on the side of the road for a nap. Got the sheriff. He comes along. He's checking out her vehicle, sees her in there. He's asking her questions like license, where are you going, and stuff. She's acting all nervous, so she's not playing it very calm, like after stealing all this money. So she raises the sheriff's suspicion. She gets kind of freaked out, so she stops at the next town. She decides, well, I need to ditch this vehicle. So she goes to a used car lot again, acting suspicious. Trades her old car off. Drops down $700 in cash, like $700 bills. You got the same time, you got the sheriff. He's like across the street. He's keeping an eye on her too. He's wondering, well, this woman, she just doesn't seem right. So yeah, you got that. She leaves. She's continuing on her way to California. It's getting late. She decides she's going to stop for the night. Oh, what does she find along the way? The Bates Motel. So she pulls in there, stops, going to spend the night. And in the process, she meets Norman Bates, like character played by Anthony Perkins. He runs the motel and stuff. So he takes her in, gives her room number 1 right next to the parlor. Offers her some lunch because she's all wet and said she hadn't eaten. So you got Norman makes her a sandwich. But as they're talking, she's getting a little nervous. Like Norman's kind of creeping her out because I think, well, the guy's just not right. So she decides she's not hungry. She's gonna go have a shower, go to bed for the night. Norman's like, whatever. So as soon as she goes over to her room, you got sneaky old pervert Norman. He sneaks into the parlor and he's got a peephole set up in room number 1 so he can spy on the young ladies as they're getting their shower on and stuff. So you got Norman. He's peeking through there. He's catching a little glimpse of a little TNA, and then it cuts to a scene. You got the infamous shower scene. I'm sure most of you know about this. And anyway, you got Janet Leigh. She's in the shower. She's all lathered up and showering off. Then you see like kind of a background of someone coming into the shower. Then you see the shadow of the knife. Shower curtain tears open. You got Mrs. Bates standing there. Hacks her all up. And then it cuts again to Norman now. He's standing in there. He's dressed as Norman, not as Mrs. Bates anymore, and there's blood everywhere. He's got to clean it up. He's got to hide the evidence. So he cleans up the mess, gathers everything, puts all Marion's stuff into the trunk of her car. And that 40 grand she had stolen, like before she had a shower, she was trying to find a place to hide it, so she takes it and she folds it up in this old newspaper. Well, it's sitting on the counter. Norman, he grabs that too, throws everything in the trunk, takes it all down to his favorite hiding spot down in the swamp, where he sinks the car. There's a little, kind of funny, I got a little chuckle there. There's a nervous moment for Norman as he's trying to hide the car in the swamp. Like, it sinks to a certain point, then the roof's still sitting there, so Norman's like, he's probably debating whether to go in and try to sink it or not, but then it finally drops down, and yeah, all Norman's thoughts are behind him. He figures he's in the free and clear. So yeah, then the movie, it kind of takes a little change after this. Like, you had the whole backstory with what had happened with Marion, and you're introduced to Norman, and you get the first screen kill of the movie. And then it kind of goes to, now you have Sam, like Sam Loomis, her lover, and now her sister Lila, she's down and she's asking questions, like she goes to see Sam. But at the same time, there's a private investigator that's looking into the matter too, like I think hired from Marion's boss to find the $40,000. He's in there asking questions at the same time. They're all grilling Sam, like, where is she, and this and that. Like, you must know where she is. She would have came to see you. So, They start doing a little digging around, like the private investigator. He starts going around to all these businesses and stuff, and makes his way to the Bates Motel, where he starts to question Norman. And yeah, I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to do this in 2 parts, so we're going to get back on part 2, and we're going to get to the private investigator questioning Norman on the whereabouts of Marion Crane. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.